Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. That is the Mark II, and I got a match here for you in 650 space. I was waiting for some friends to come on, and yeah, it was Tuesday, and you know, space matches. So I decided to change it up a bit and wanted to play the Mark II. The Mark II, of course, was back then when Zeta era suits were coming out, and this thing was an absolute monster. It kind of just dominated the scene. Fortunately, you know, it's not like that anymore. Although this suit is still quite powerful in terms of just melee damage, it's hardly the suit that it was back then. I mean, it is the same suit pretty much, but you know, there's been better suits. It's been power crept. There we go. Or, you know, there's suits that can handle it more effectively. You know, however, this suit is still really fucking good damage-wise. I said before, this suit it's like my go-to if I want to win a match. But this is 650, and you really don't see Mark IIs at this cost. You'll see them for the meme purposes because you'll see here in a second, it still does really good melee damage. I don't have my complete melee build. I think this one I actually put a little bit above thruster gauge, or maybe a little bit more range strength to because you know I'm at a cost where I'm just spamming my missiles out here because I'm trying to do the quick shot strategy of just aim in the general direction, try and get a hit, and hope I get a stun, which unfortunately leads to some pretty really off misses. So, however, there are some moments where I do get a hit, and you can see our team is actually a pretty weird team as well. We have a Cubile, a Stamen, our support is a is a Zusa, which the 650 Zusa is still a pretty nice pick in terms of just trying to beat out maneuver armor, because the AoE missiles are still really good. However, in space, it's not going to be, you're not as likely to hit them, so you're going to have to rely on just aiming and maybe hitting your shotgun beam blast. You know, I hardly see Zusas in space unless it's man, I forgot the name of the map, the Thunderbolt map. Maybe it'll come to me here in a second, but and we also have a Toad Shredder. And the enemy team, as you can see, there is a bunch of Cubiles. They have 2 regular Cubiles and a mass production Cubile. Mass production is a pretty scary suit in space, depending on if they can aim and if the funnels actually function and hit you all at the same time. They also have a Zeong, my bad. So they also have a pretty strange team as well. There we go. Like, I've played 650 space before. I think the next match I played after this, because you know you had to play 2 space matches. Yeah, it was completely just the same typical 650 suits. This one, I guess everyone just wanted to play different. And yeah, I can see almost 5,000 damage on that the Zeong there. So yeah, Mark II can still do dummy damage against some of these suits. And of course, I think there might be. Is there a 700 Mark II? I don't think so. Maybe there is, but yeah, this suit does bring the hurt when it can. That man did a dodge roll, but I still did 3,000 damage to him with a neutral swing. So, and you'll see I'm trying to throw in my my sticky launchers a little bit more often as well, because if they do hit, that will slow your opponent just a little bit. But you know that's pretty significant in space to have to slow down a little bit, as we know from the Sturm Galas having come out, where you have 190 movement speed. That can be pretty scary, and you know, being slow, you don't want to be slow, but at this cost, with all these fast suits, and you know, having all that room to work with, having a little bit of slowdown does work, and of course that's also an extra stun, which is what I'm using it for, but you know, trying to add some more utility to it, I guess. Alright, there's a Mark V. I haven't seen a Mark V. Is it Mark V? Yeah, Mark V. I haven't seen a Mark V in a while. We'll go ahead and try to melee him, which thankfully he waltzed right into my downswing, which that happens a lot this match. I guess I almost thought that I was invisible this match, like I was having an issue. If you guys don't know, that's a thing that can happen where you will just turn invisible, or one of your opponents or one of your teammates. That happened in the initial thoughts for the Kshatriya, where King turned invisible in his EZZ, which is actually a pretty terrifying thought, you know? But I was kind of wondering if that was happening, but no, they do react to some of what I'm doing half the time, so I think it's just misplaced judgment on their part. You know, maybe just dumb luck that I'm running in and getting a downswing, and maybe because I'm like dark enough color that I blend in with space, I guess. But let's see, we've got a Cubile, and I'm just missing terribly. Let's go in for the melee, and then just miss terribly again with the cum launcher. And here we are at this little junction here where everyone's just shooting at each other for a little bit. Thankfully, this bazooka, which is why I like to use the bazooka, not only do you got instant stun, but it also has a lot of rounds in it, so if I miss, I just have to wait a little bit and I get another round, and potentially I can combo off of it. And another reason I kind of like the Mark II over some suits, like the Hazel 2 is definitely a better suit. But I wish the Hazel had the Mark II Vulcans. I like the machine gun enough, right? But it's just something just so satisfying about the Mark II's kit, and it just feels powerful. And some people still do respect the Mark II. I mean, I don't half the time because I just go, oh hey Mark II, I know what you're gonna do. Same thing like with the Garibaldi Beta, but some people still. The Mark II, they know the Mark II has melee damage, so they'll try to get away as far as possible from it. And even then, they try to be wary of the add-on damage it can do with its Vulcans and the sticky launcher to try and trip up their opponents, right, or finish them off when they're low health. And you see our team is pushing up quite nicely. It's 12,000 to 6,000, so we're beating them by 6,000 points. And this is the perfect map for my kind of suit, which you'll notice I think there might be a few times where I use my bazooka to, the splash radius that the bazooka has to damage somebody, like damage them next, shoot next to a wall and stun the enemy that way, which is pretty good for this map because you can see it's pretty confined. It's not as confined as the Thunderbolt map, which man I thought I would remember the name by now, but I guess I just legit forgot it. One of you guys will tell me, I believe. But yeah, that's pretty good for this kind of map where everybody's just more than likely going to get up against a wall. And yeah, this poor Mark V is just going to get bullied, and it's going to stand still and shoot him with my Vulcans. And here comes two more Cubelays, which, yeah, speaking of a bygone era with the Mark II, the Cubelays, man, that's a hard drop-off right there, where you had pretty much the queen of 650, and not only did they nerf it, but then they just released just increasingly more powerful suits at 650. Cubelay ain't much anymore. It's still a pretty decent, I should say, mid-range suit where you can poke and prod at people. But man, just it's such a man. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just so different seeing a Cubelay nowadays, where you go, oh, it's a Cubelay. When back then you'd see a Cubelay and go, oh shit, Cubelay. Even when you're in the pre-buffed Double Zeta wasn't a terrifying suit. It was there, and then the Cubelay was like, ooh, yeah, that thing you have to watch out for. Nowadays, you see, you're probably more scared of a Double Zeta more than a Cubelay now. Probably because the Double Zeta can now fly at you. It's got buffs on it. Of course, it does have a lot of range on its melee. You can do some pretty disgusting damage with Double Zeta. And the poor Cubelay. The mass production Cubelay also got buffed as well, where it has, it got buffed where it has the shoulder enhancements that the shoulder buffers, there we go, that the original Cubelay had, which really helps it surviving. Even more so than regular Cubelay, because the Cubelay doesn't have that shoulder buffer. And you'll see plenty of times where I'll clip a Cubelay with the bazooka in the shoulder. Oh man, I try to get that, I try to melee the Cubelay, but unfortunately I missed a few times, and it's going to get me killed. But don't worry, it's the end of the match pretty much, and he will not be lasting long. And hey, timeout, let's see what we got going on here today. Good works all around with these two weird teams. And hey, mission complete, let's see what we got going on here, which I don't think we get on the board, but yeah, our Cubelay did alright, and of course I got to praise the Zusa, because Zusa doing really good. I like the Zusa a lot. And third place, 3 and 2. I didn't do too much in terms of just ass blasting people, but I did, still get over 100k damage. I did tie the Zusa for assist score, and I did get first place in pursuit assist as well. So yeah, Mark II can still do some stuff. And hey, the individual score was actually kind of high, even though I got 5th place. Our team was kind of rocking out with their cocks out. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And type up in the comment section how you feel about the Mark II. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And yeah, like I said before, the Mark II, it's one of those suits that it was just an absolute mad lad back then, right? You'd have teams of Mark IIs, and honestly, you could probably still kind of maybe make one work if everybody was good enough. The damage output on the Mark II is insane. However, it's nowhere near as versatile as some of the later suits. You know, you got suits like the Gallus K with maneuver armor, and they can be tanky and still do a lot of melee damage. You know, I think I even made a video, you know, old guard versus new guard with the Hazel, where the Hazel can it's pretty much just a really fast Mark II with a beam rifle. I wish I could switch it out. Actually, can you switch it out with a bazooka? I gotta go double check now, but you can do some pretty dumb damage with the Hazel as well. But yeah, the Mark II, it just fell behind. But you know, like I said, I always like to take it out every now and then, just so I can get a win, just so I can look at somebody and go, hey, I'm gonna downswing you and do 5K, you know. And I think even at high cost, I'll occasionally, not sometimes, it's not uncommon, just like very rarely, I'll pull it out just to do another 6K damage downswing to some of the suits at that cost. But yeah, that's going to be it. I will see you guys later. Bye.